This is Details University course number 1. We're going to start today in the company settings, then we'll move on to the resource galleries, and we'll finish up with settings and support. The purpose of Details University 1 is to set up your new account. So let's start in the company settings. We're going to go through each one of these pages, but we'll start up here at the info page. The company info page is pretty straightforward. It's where you're going to put in any of your company information that you want displayed on your proposals. A really important note on this page is this email address. The email address that's in this field will receive your proposal signed notifications. So that means when a client signs your proposals and you get an email notification, it's going to go to whatever address is in this field. Make sure that this is where you want to receive those messages at. You can include multiple email addresses here if you want. Just make sure that you separate them by a comma, and you'll receive those notifications at any email address that's listed here. As with any page, if you make any changes, make sure you click the Save button here at the bottom. The next page we're going to look at is the Contract Terms page. Here on the Contract Terms page is where you will set your default contract terms. Each time you create a proposal in Details, you'll start with these terms. You can edit the terms on an event-by-event basis. So if you have a special circumstance with a client, you can add additional terms within those events without adjusting these contract defaults. Your account will come with some preloaded text in here when you first get started. You can use that information if you want and just edit it to fit your company, or you can scrap all of it and add in your own terms. Quick tour here. The terms will show up on the proposal in the order listed in this column. You can adjust the order by changing these numbers around. These are the term headers here. You can click right in these fields to edit those. If you need to remove a term, you just click this little X right here. If you need to add a new contract term, you click this button right here. To get in and edit each of your terms, you're going to click this arrow icon here, and that will open up the terms here in this text field, and you can enter your terms right here. Same thing as before, when you make changes, make sure you click the Save button here at the bottom. The next page is the Financials page. We're doing two main things here on this page. On the left-hand side, you're going to enter your billing information that you want displayed on your proposal. It's also where you'll enter a convenience fee if you use a convenience fee when you take credit card payments. If you're outside the United States and you live in a country where you need to include the Goods and Services Tax ID on your proposals, you're going to enter that number right here. If you're inside the United States, you can just leave that blank. You don't have to worry about that. The other thing we're doing here on this page is on the right-hand side, we have our payment schedule here. So when you create each event in Details, you will start with a payment schedule. It will automatically default to whatever is listed here. So a tour of this, we've got the payment name, the payment type, which can be a flat amount or a percentage. The amounts here, if you're using percentages, make sure that those add up to 100. And then the due column here is the number of days prior to the event that this payment is due. If you need to add additional payments, you can click this button right here. If you need to remove any payments, you can click this button right here. Similar to the contract terms, you can adjust this payment schedule within each of your events, but make sure that you have your default schedule listed here on the Financials page under the company settings. The next page we're going to look at here is the Invoicing page. Details is connected with a payment processing platform called Stripe. You can connect with Stripe to automatically invoice your clients directly from Details and collect those payments by credit card. When you first arrive at the invoicing page, you'll see a button to connect with Stripe. If you want to set up that connection, you just click right on the button and it will walk you through the setup. If you have an existing Stripe account that you'd like to connect with Details, after you click the Connect with Stripe button, there will be an option to connect an existing account. Once you've set up the invoicing with Stripe, the page will look like this. And all you're doing here is setting the messages that will show up by default on your invoices when they're sent out to clients. You'll see the reason for each message is listed right here above the box. If you need to access your Stripe account, you can click on any of these links here and it will take you to the corresponding page in Stripe. Same thing as always, if you make any changes, make sure you click Save right here at the bottom. The next page we're going to look at is the Event Defaults page. And this one's really important. This is your default worksheet. In Details, each time you create an event, you're going to be doing all of your designing on a worksheet. So setting up a default worksheet that loads up everything you need to get started designing is really important. There are a couple of important items to set up right away. The first one here is the taxes section. Make sure that you enter the correct tax rate for your area here in these fields and then save your changes. Each time you create an event, you want to make sure that you're charging the correct tax rate. The next thing that's really important to set up is your default markup. The default markup is found here under Options, Worksheet Settings, and right there is the default markup field. In Details, we'll start your markup at 300%, and the way that we calculate markup in Details is cost times the markup plus the cost again. That way you get a true, in this case, 300% markup. Once you've set this to be what you need it at, just go ahead and close the box right there. Another really important thing to set up here on your default worksheet are any standard fees that you charge. So if you have a labor fee that you itemize and you need to charge that on all of your events, include it here on your event defaults. I'm going to scroll quickly to the bottom and we can look at the fees section. As an example, here's a labor fee that I set up. I changed the fee name to labor. You can set that to be whatever you need. You'll tell the system how to apply it, what type of fee it is, whether that's a percentage or a flat amount, and then the corresponding amount will go right in here. For this example, this fee is a 30% labor fee that I am charging based off of my product subtotal right here. For you, this may look a little bit different, but the general idea here is that if you have any standard fees that you charge for all of your events, include it here on your default worksheet so that you never have to worry about whether or not it's being included when you create your events. I'm going to scroll quickly back to the top. Another really important thing to do here on your default worksheet is just to set this up in a way that works for you. You've got these different worksheet sections and line items. We've preloaded this stuff in here in a way that we think is useful, but you're going to want to set this up so that it's useful to you. You can add additional categories by dragging and dropping these onto the worksheet. You can add additional rows to sections by clicking right here at the bottom of them. You can change the name or the price of any of the lines and the name of any of the sections by clicking right on them and adjusting those. We'd recommend setting your standard pricing here in the estimated price field so that whenever you get started with an event, you've got your general pricing already listed here on the worksheet. It would be a good idea to go through here and get rid of any lines or any sections that you don't need and add in any sections and lines that you think you will need. That way, each time you get started with creating an event, you've already got everything set up to be close to the way you need it for that event. Of course, every event is unique and you'll make changes, but having good defaults is going to save you a lot of time. Same as with all of the other pages we looked at here in the company section, make sure you save your changes. An important note about changes to the default worksheet: they will only apply to events going forward. They are not retroactive. All right, let's go back to the main menu here and just quickly review what we went over. We went through the company section. We started with the info page. We went to the contract terms page. We reviewed financials and invoicing, and then we finished up with event defaults up here. Now we're going to move down to resources. We'll start with the item gallery and we'll work our way up to the inspiration gallery. So let's get started. Here we are in the item gallery, and this is where all of your items and details are hosted. Within the item gallery, you have different collections, and the collections are basically folders. They're a way to organize your gallery. The all items collection is going to be an aggregate of everything that's here. The my items collection will have any items that we've preloaded to your account, as well as items that you've added yourself. You'll also see these different partner collections, and you can choose to add your own collections like we've done down here. Creating your own collections is a really great way to keep your item gallery organized. For now, we're going to focus on the My Items collection. Yours may look a little different than mine because I've added different items to my collection over time. But when you first get started, you should see quite a few items listed here, and a really important part of setting up your own item gallery is going through this, adding the items that you need, getting rid of the items that you don't need, and making sure that everything is categorized and priced correctly. There is a quick and easy way to search this gallery. You can search by name, you can filter by type, filter by color, or by availability. If you need to edit an item, you can click right on it and it will open a window for you to edit. You can see here we've got an image. You can add more images to this item if you'd like. We've got a name and a description. You can adjust those if you need to. The description doesn't show up for your clients, it's just for you. So when you're editing items or adding items, just note that this will only show up for you. The details tab here is really important. This is where we're going to set what kind of item this is, how much it costs, and depending on the kind of item it is, there'll be additional fields as well. In this case, for blooms and greenery, we have a stems per bunch option. If you need to adjust this, click Edit, make any necessary adjustments here, and save. Different kinds of items will have different fields here. So for example, vases and rentals will have a default cost, which is the cost to you to purchase that item. The rental price, which is of course what you'll charge your client when they rent this item from you. And an inventory number here, so you can keep track of how many of these you've got. That's important because when you're pricing out your events, details will keep track of how many you've used versus how many you need and tell you if you need to purchase any more. You can also set the colors and availability for items to help with searching. If you need to add your own items, you're going to click this Add New button right up here, click New Item, and we'll see those same fields that we just went through when we were editing an item. Making sure that all of the costs of your items are correct in details is really important so that when you're pricing out your events and things are being marked up, you're getting the correct prices and you're charging properly. You could go through each item here individually, go to the Details tab, edit the cost, save that, but that would be really tedious. And when you're first getting started, a quick and easy way to go through and manage all the costs here is to go to this table view up here at the top. We can adjust the names here, change the item type, and manage all of our cost fields all right here in this view. This will make it really easy for you to go through and make sure that all of the costs are accurate to what you charge. This may seem a little tedious, but it is a very important part of setting up your Details account. And once you've been using Details for a while, I would still recommend coming back to this occasionally and making sure that things are accurate. And rest easy, when you make changes here, they will automatically save. You do not have to save your changes after each adjustment. And that is the item gallery. Let's move on to the recipe gallery. The recipe gallery is like your portfolio in Details. It's where all of the arrangements that you create and design in here will live after you save them. Your gallery, when you first get started, will come preloaded with about 80 recipes, and you can use those, you can delete them, you can adjust them, whatever you want. They're just examples for you to have so you know how this is supposed to work. There are basically two ways to create recipes in Details. You can create them right here in the gallery by clicking New Recipe, or you can create them on your worksheets when you're designing your events and save them here to the gallery for later use. Your recipes will contain all of the items needed to put this arrangement together. When we open one of these up, we can see here we've got the recipe image, so our inspiration photo, a description here. The description is primarily meant for your client to see on the proposal, so if you put something in here, make sure it's something that you want them to see. We've got our list of ingredients right down below, and the corresponding images that go with those ingredients. Over here on the right-hand side, we've got our list of costs and prices based on what's included here. You can also choose to categorize these, and the recipe will automatically list the colors of the items contained. If you want to create your own recipe, click New Recipe right up here. We can upload an image, give it a descriptive title. I would recommend putting something in here that's easy for you to search by. The description here, of course, like I said, is for your clients, so make sure you put something in there that you want them to see on the proposal. And then to add those ingredients, it's really easy. You just click Add Ingredient, start searching for the item that you're looking for, and select any of the items. Enter the quantity, and move on to the next line. Add as many ingredients as you need until you have everything listed here that's required for this arrangement. Over here in the top right, we have that rates field. The cost will automatically be calculated for you after you save this. You can choose to put a different markup in here if you want to. Otherwise, Details will use your default markup that's set back there on your worksheet. The price field here will automatically calculate once this is saved. An alternate option is to enter a flat price that you want to charge every time that you use this arrangement. If you enter a price in here, it will always stick with that price regardless of item cost or markup. Right here is where you can set the categories for different items. You can also include styles, and you can select as many of these as you'd like. And then once you're done, click the Save button right here. The categories and styles options are meant to help you search the gallery. So similar to the item gallery, we have a search up here. You can filter by different things. The colors and months is going to look at the items that are contained in these arrangements and the colors and months associated with them. The categories and styles are looking at the recipe categories and styles. You can also choose to search by name, which is why it's important to enter a descriptive name for each of your recipes. There is also a table view here in the recipe gallery. There's nothing to edit in this table view, but it is a quick and easy way to go through and filter out some of these recipes that maybe you're not using anymore. Next, we have the inspiration gallery. The inspiration gallery, when you first start your account, comes blank, and all this is meant for is it's just a giant photo bank for you to use to upload and hold inspiration photos that you can later use as recipe images or as inspiration photos on your proposals. It's very easy to upload a photo here. You just click this Upload New Inspiration button, choose a file from your computer, or enter a link to an image and click Upload. If you need to delete an item, click this little trash can icon in the top right. And if you ever need to restore any of your inspiration images, you can go to the Deleted Inspirations area and there will be a Restore icon in the top right corner of each image. So that covers the resources. We looked at the item gallery, the recipe gallery, and the inspiration gallery. Now let's finish up with settings and support. Under settings, you have a couple options here. The subscription page is where you'll manage your subscription. So if you need to change your plan or update your card on file, you'll do it there. The authorized users page is a place where you can add additional users to your account. Privacy mode here is a toggle that you can switch on or off, and when privacy mode is turned on, it will hide all of the cost information and details. The value of that is that you can sit down with a client and have peace of mind knowing that they're not seeing any of your cost or markup information. The last thing we'll look at here is support. There are lots of ways to get support from us and lots of ways to keep learning. You have the video tutorials page, which is probably where you're seeing this video. The webinars page is a spot where you can register for any of our upcoming webinars. The Details University page is a spot where you can register for one-on-one classes with a member of the Details support team. The Support Center is like a giant details encyclopedia. It is filled with articles that include step-by-step instructions, videos, and images for everything related to details, and it's probably the best place to start if you have a question. The Contact Us page here includes our contact information. It also has a form that you can use to let us know if you're having an issue. Additionally, if you'd like to request a feature from us, you can use this form to do that as well. If you need to schedule a one-on-one call with us, you can click right here. Our phone number is available right there, and the easiest way to ask a quick question to the support team is right here in the chat. Okay, that wraps up Details University 1. Just to recap, we went through the company settings, looking at the info page, contract terms, financials, invoicing, and finally your event defaults. Then we reviewed the resource galleries, starting with the item gallery and making our way up to the inspiration gallery. And then we just finished up here looking at settings and support. Thanks for taking some time to learn more about details, and have a great day.